Okay, in this video we're going to look at question 8 from the WJC Additional Maths paper from June 2015. So this time we are trying to find d2y by dx squared, so the second derivative. So I've written down the derivatives that I wrote earlier in the paper, because the only derivative we know is something times x to the power of n, which will give us that something multiplied by the gradient of x to the n, which is nx to the n minus 1. Second derivative means we're going to differentiate y twice. So if y is 2x to the 10, then the first derivative is going to be, well, it'll be 2 multiplied by the derivative of x to the 10, which is 10x to the 9. So 2 times 10 is 20, so I get 20x to the 9. And then the second derivative means I'm going to differentiate the first derivative. So I'm differentiating this here. So if I differentiate that, that will give me 20 multiplied by the derivative of x to the 9, which is 9x to the 8. Well, 20 times 9 is 180, so I get 180x to the 8. Okay, so that one's as simple as that. Part B is a lovely little puzzle style question. So given the following facts, find the values of A, B, and C. So I start off with an expression for y. So that y equals ax to the 5 plus bx plus c. And the next thing we've got is the second derivative. Well, let's just work from y to get the second derivative. So I'm going to differentiate once. So my first term will be a, which is just a number. It could be 7, 3, 2, no, we don't know what it is. A multiplied by the derivative of x to the 5, which is 5x to the 4. So I'm going to write that as 5a x to the 4. Okay, then my second term, my bx, is going to differentiate to b multiply the derivative of x, which is 1. So that just becomes plus b. And my c, which is a constant, is going to disappear when I differentiate. So that's going to go to 0. So my second derivative, d2y by dx squared, means I'm going to differentiate the expression I've just had. So this is going to be 5a multiplied by the derivative of x to the 4, which is 4x cubed. So that's going to give me 5a times 4 is 20a x cubed. And then in plus b is a constant, so that's going to disappear. So I'm just going to be left with 20a x cubed. So that's what I've got from there. But I also have an expression given to me that d2y by dx squared is equal to 20x cubed. So I also know that d2y by dx squared equals 20x cubed. So what does that mean A is? Well, that means that A has to take the value of 1, because that has to be 20 times 1 to give me 20. So therefore, A is equal to 1, and that's our first value sorted. Okay, so now this becomes y equals 1x to the 5 plus bx plus c. I'll adjust that as we go. Okay, the next point that we've got is when x is 0, y is going to be 5. Well, let's substitute that into my new expression for y. So that gives me, so when y is 5, when x is 0. So I'm going to substitute 5 in for y. So that's going to be 5 equals, and I'm going to put 0 in for x. So that's 0 to the 5 plus b lots of 0 plus c. Well, 0 to the 5 is 0. Anything times 0 is 0, so they're nothing. So that means my c has the value of 5. So I'm going to put that in up here now. I'm going to change my c to plus 5. Okay, and the last thing I'll need to do is to use my last little piece of information that says when x is 1, y is 9. So I'm going to make my same substitution into this, where I now know this extra bit of information. So in this case, my y is going to be 9. So I'm going to have 9 equals, and my x is going to be 1. So I get 1 to the 5 plus b lots of 1. Instead of plus c, I know what c is now, so that's plus 5. Okay, so that will give me 9 equals 1 to the 5 is 1. B times 1 is b plus 5. And then if I take the 1 and the 5 off both sides, that will leave me with b having the value of 3. So I now have my 3 answers that I wanted. A is 1, B is 3, and C is 5.